So free speech is under attack again. Just the idea that maybe Elon Musk will give us a little bit more. He's a billionaire oligarch, so I don't hold out much hope, but things have been a little better on Twitter. I can say what I want about Pfizer and the vaccines and the COVID. That's fun. So here is a UN regulator at the World Economic Forum. She's warning Elon Musk that he better behave. You think I'm kidding? Here we go.
I think that the confidence has been weakened. And I had quite high level of confidence when it comes to Twitter.
So when she says confidence, what she means is I had a high level of confidence that we could control the content on Twitter. I had a high level of confidence that we could censor who we wanted and Twitter would do our bidding at the WEF. That's what she's saying. We had high confidence.
I have to say that we worked with knowledgeable people, with the lawyers, with the sociologists who understood that they have to behave.
Why are we back to Germans in this accent talking about how did we get to this? It's amazing. And V said, like, I never dreamed in a million years.
You have to behave.
And then the decent
well, Mr. Bond, you have not been behaving. We have a saw and a conveyor belt moving very slowly towards it. I'd like you to lay down.
They're going to laser Elon's balls on a table.
Elon, your balls are being electrically...
No, Mr. Musk, I expect your balls to be hit with a laser.
Decent way not to cause really big harm to the society. So I always felt that this notion of responsibility was there. So this is what I don't feel from Elon Musk personally.
She doesn't feel it from him. She doesn't feel it from Elon Musk.
What are you going to do about it, sweetie? Freeze to death while they blow up all your money in Ukraine? Moron.
Here's what she's going to do about it.
Yeah.
Well, our message was clear. We have the rules which have to be complied with, and otherwise there will be sanctions.
You will comply.
Sanctions?
You will comply.
Wait, sanctions on who?
Elon Musk.
You.
And Twitter.
Oh, in where though? Like in the EU or in the?
They run all the global money. So, for instance, we're going to talk about. I'll show you right here. For instance, Elon Musk needs to get something from India. Right? Some factories built, some shit. India wanted him to censor a documentary that was negative about the India's leader Modi.
Yeah, right.
And they did it.
Yeah. Well,
that's how they control. It's always comes down to the money.
Like the lithium thing.
Always comes down. European Union official warns Elon Musk of sanctions over Twitter banning journalists. The EU Commission's Vice President for Values and Transparency, that's who that was, said it was worrying that Musk had banned journalists on Twitter, citing a new platform rule that prohibits sharing information about any user's location. She pointed out that under the bloc's new Digital Services Act, which will take full effect in 2024, social media platforms must show quote, respect of media freedom and fundamental rights. Now, they didn't have that before.
Wait. So this is Modi. This is because that scumbag that was blackmailing him for a job with the stupid tracking his plane. That's what this is about?
So that's what this is. So when he started to ban journalists that were sharing his real-time data information about where Elon Musk's plane was, he banned those people because that's a policy of Twitter against doxing someone where they currently are. You're not that, I don't know how but that's what it is. And so now they're saying that they got this new thing. It's called the Digital Services Act. And that in it has a thing that says you have to respect media freedom and fundamental rights. Now, isn't it interesting that wasn't in there before? Because they were banning people left and right during COVID. They're banning people left and right over Ukraine. They're banning people right over vaccines. They're banning journalists. No one gave a shit. But now Elon Musk bans people who are establishment journalists. And now you can't do that because those are the people we use to enforce the narrative. And you can't, if you ban the people we have enforcing the narrative on Twitter and social media, then we lose control of the narrative and they can't have that. Who's that? The WEF, the European Union, the people who are controlled by money. The framework would make social media companies more accountable for content posted by users on their platforms. So if you don't understand how social media works, it doesn't work like a bookstore. So when somebody writes something in a book that is defamatory or slanderous or libelous, you don't sue the bookstore. So in this, you sue the author, or you sue the publisher of that book. So now social media like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, they have that same protection that bookstores have. You can't sue me for something somebody did, but now they're not just bookstores. Now they're publishers. Now they're the publisher because they're censoring people at their behest. So now they've become not a bookstore, but an actual publisher, and they shouldn't enjoy that freedom anymore. They shouldn't be, so because they're censoring, they're opening up books in their library and they're crossing out words. Okay? That's not okay. And so, but they're still allowed to do it. So the Media Freedom Act, which was adopted by the EU in September, also reinforces those values. Values. They're talking about values. Giovanna warned that Musk should be aware of that, and that there are red lines and possibly sanctions soon. Penalties for violating the Digital Services Act. Could you look up the Digital Services Act? Penalties for violating the Digital Services Act could result in fines as much as 6% of a platform's global annual revenue, which for Twitter would mean billions. So that's what they're doing, Kurt. That's how they're going to control the narrative on Twitter, is they're going to start fining them.
So the Media Freedoms Act, I guess I don't know what's in it.
The Media
There
Freedom,
must be something in there from the go, and also we can censor media when we feel like it. They must have like something written in there, right?
they must.
Because it's like, talk about hills I wouldn't give a rat's ass about dying on, tracking Elon Musk's plane.
And they could ban them from across Europe if they do a repeat offenses. Twitter, if they don't do what the WEF says. Twitter is censoring links to a BBC documentary that examined Prime Minister Modi's role in a violent 2002 riot that saw over 1,000 deaths. It was always going to be true that Musk's Tesla financial interests were going to cause a significant conflict of interest when it came to Twitter censorship requests from foreign governments responsible for granting Tesla access to their respective markets and tax break incentives. So that's why, so do you see that's how they got Musk? It's always they got him by the monetary balls. That's how they have everybody. That's why the WHO listens to Bill Gates, even though he's a college dropout.
That's why we have BRICS coming.
That's why we have BRICS coming. Right? The reason why the WHO listens to Bill Gates is because he has them over a barrel financially. The reason why anybody does anything now internationally is because of money. And there it is. So now the WEF and Europe. So what did you find out about that?
Okay, so what I found out, I'm at the European Commission, the Digital Service Act package. So they say it's a package, and it's combined with the Digital Service Act and the digital markets. And they say that the DSA and DMA have two main goals: to create a safer digital space in which the fundamental rights of all users of digital services are protected.
Safe. We're safe.
Part two is to establish a level playing field to foster innovation, growth, and competitiveness both in the European single market and globally.
So the European Union. So this is how the elites get control back of the narrative. This is it. Because that's all they have left. If they lose narrative control, then they have to start doing stuff like throwing people in jail and disappearing people. And that's a lot harder. Hey, we're doing live stand-up comedy in Los Angeles, Tempe, Arizona, Palm Springs, Milwaukee, Minneapolis, Nashville, Northampton, Massachusetts, and a lot more places. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets and become a premium member while you're there. You get access to all of our stuff. See you then.